What if I told you that the plant you just watered this morning could send your dog or cat to the emergency room tonight? I know, sounds dramatic, but here's the reality. Right now, as you're watching this, there's probably at least one toxic plant sitting somewhere in your home. And one of them, which we'll reveal at number 7, is in practically every household with pets across America. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn might actually save your pet's life.
Hey, Grovia family! Before we dive in, I need you to do something real quick. If this is your first time here, or even if you've been watching for a while, smash that subscribe button right now. Here's why. We're building a community of pet parents and plant lovers who care about keeping both thriving together. Every week, we break down practical tips that help you create a safer home for your furry friends without sacrificing your love for greenery. Plus, hitting subscribe tells YouTube to show you more of this life-saving content. And honestly, your support keeps this channel growing so we can help even more pet owners avoid these hidden dangers. All right, let's get into it.
Here's something that blows my mind. Walk into any garden center and you'll see toxic plants displayed right next to dog beds and cat toys. No warning labels, no signs, nothing. I've spent years working with both animals and plants, and the disconnect is staggering. Organizations like the ASPCA Animal Poison Control and the Pet Poison Helpline document literally thousands of pet poisoning cases every single year, most from common plants people don't even realize are dangerous. So today, we're counting down 20 of the most dangerous plants that could seriously harm or even kill your pet. Some of these are hiding in plain sight. Others are so popular that removing them might feel impossible. But knowledge is power, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and what to do. Let's start with the absolute worst offenders.
Number 1. True lilies, the silent kidney assassin. If you have a cat and you have lilies in your house, we need to talk, right now. I'm referring to Easter lilies, tiger lilies, Asiatic lilies, basically anything from the lilium family. And for cats, these aren't just toxic, they're catastrophically lethal in ways that almost no other plant is. Here's the terrifying part. Your cat doesn't even have to eat the plant. A cat can brush against a lily, get pollen on their fur, groom themselves later, and that's enough. They can drink water from a vase that held lilies, they can nibble one single petal. That's it. Within hours, the toxins start destroying kidney cells. Your cat might seem fine at first, maybe a little tired, maybe vomiting once or twice. But by 12 to 24 hours, kidney damage is accelerating. By 24 to 72 hours, complete kidney failure. And here's the gut punch. Even with immediate, aggressive veterinary treatment, we're talking IV fluids, hospitalization, the works, many cats still don't make it. Veterinary toxicology reports are full of heartbreaking cases. A cat who smelled a bouquet, a kitten who batted up fallen stamens, a cat who walked across a table where pollen had settled. These aren't hypotheticals. These are real emergencies that ended in tragedy. True lilies are gorgeous, which is exactly why they show up in every Easter basket and Mother's Day arrangement. But if you have cats, you cannot have these flowers in your home, period. Not in vases, not in gardens where cats roam, nowhere.
Quick question for you. Drop a comment right now. Do you have lilies in your house? Let's do a quick pulse check in the comments. Type safe if you're lily-free, or checking if you need to go look around your house right now. Number 2. Daylilies, the outdoor landmine. Okay, but daylilies are different, right? Those are the ones in my garden. Wrong. And this misconception has cost lives. Daylilies, those cheerful orange and yellow flowers that line driveways and bloom all summer long, are also linked to kidney failure in cats. Hemerocallis species might not be true lilies botanically, but toxicologically, they're just as dangerous. And here's what makes daylilies even more insidious. They're everywhere. They're the ultimate low-maintenance landscaping plant. They multiply like crazy, require zero care, and produce masses of blooms, which is exactly why they're in millions of yards where outdoor cats roam. The toxicity works the same way, kidney destruction, progressing to complete renal failure. Cats who eat the flowers, buds, or leaves face the same devastating outcome. Recent veterinary literature shows case after case. Cats develop vomiting and lethargy within hours, followed by rapidly declining kidney function. Emergency IV fluids can save some cats if you catch it immediately, but many cases still end in death or permanent kidney damage. The real problem? People don't think of daylilies as dangerous because they're not houseplants. They're just those flowers by the mailbox. But for outdoor cats, or any chance of your indoor cat escaping, you need to remove every single daylily from your property. Not trim them, remove them, because one nibble could be fatal.
Number 3. Sago palm, the liver destroyer. Now let's talk about a plant that doesn't discriminate. It'll kill dogs, cats, or any pet that decides to chew on it. But dogs are the most common victims because they love to dig up and chew the seeds. Sago palms, technically Cycas or Zamia species, have that exotic tropical look everyone loves. They're popular in warm climates and increasingly common as houseplants everywhere else. Every single part is toxic, but the seeds? Those are especially lethal because they contain the highest concentration of cycasin, which causes severe liver damage. Here's the typical scenario. A dog digs up a sago palm, finds the seeds, and chews them. The seeds apparently have a slightly nutty taste that some dogs find appealing. The dog eats 1 or 2 seeds. Within hours, violent vomiting starts, then bloody diarrhea, then liver failure begins. Even with aggressive veterinary treatment, hospitalization, IV fluids, liver protectants, anti-nausea meds, the whole 9 yards, the mortality rate is 50 to 75%. Let that sink in. Even if you rush your dog to the emergency vet immediately and spare no expense, there's still a coin flip chance your dog dies. Emergency vets in Florida, California, and other warm states see this regularly. The classic case, dog was fine in the morning. Owner came home to find the dog had dug up the sago palm. By evening, the dog is in liver failure. The progression can be shockingly fast. If you have a sago palm and you have pets, you need to choose the plant or the pet, because sooner or later, curiosity will win and the results could be fatal.
Number 4. Oleander, the heart stopper. Now we're moving into plants with a completely different killing mechanism, cardiac glycosides. These are compounds that mess with heart rhythm, and oleander is absolutely loaded with them. Get this, oleander is so toxic that even burning the branches and inhaling the smoke can cause poisoning. There are reports of people dying after using oleander sticks to roast marshmallows. Nerium oleander is everywhere in warm climates. Beautiful pink, white, or red flowers, drought-tolerant, grows into gorgeous hedges. It's planted along highways, in parking lots, in yards. And every part, flowers, leaves, stems, roots, can cause fatal heart rhythm disturbances in pets. Here's how it works. The cardiac glycosides interfere with the heart's electrical system. After ingestion, you'll see drooling, vomiting, diarrhea initially, but then the cardiac effects kick in, irregular heartbeat, dangerously slow or fast rhythms. These arrhythmias can be fatal. The heart just stops beating effectively. Documented cases include dogs who chewed leaves while playing, cats who ate fallen flowers, pets who drank water contaminated with oleander clippings. The amount needed varies, but even small ingestions are dangerous, and large ones can be rapidly fatal. Treatment requires hospitalization, cardiac monitoring, IV fluids, sometimes antidotes. But even with treatment, the outcome depends on how much was eaten and how fast you acted. Some pets don't survive despite everything. Oleander became popular because it's beautiful and thrives in tough conditions, but it's completely unsuitable for any property where pets live. The risk is just too high.
Number 5. Castor bean, the ricin risk. Now we're talking about a plant that contains one of the most infamous poisons in the world, ricin. Castor bean plants, Ricinus communis, are grown as ornamentals for their large, dramatic leaves and interesting seed pods. And those seed pods contain seeds loaded with ricin, a toxin so deadly it's been studied as a biological weapon. Here's the nightmare scenario. Dogs, especially, find and chew the seeds or seed pods. The seeds look kind of like mottled beans, and some dogs will pick them up out of curiosity. If the seed coat breaks and the contents are released, the ricin gets absorbed. Ricin is a protein synthesis inhibitor, which basically means it stops cells from making the proteins they need to function. Result: cell death throughout the body. Initial symptoms:
severe vomiting and diarrhea, often bloody. Then it progresses to weakness, tremors, seizures, multi-organ failure. Death can occur within days. The lethal dose is terrifyingly small. Even 1 or 2 chewed seeds could potentially kill a dog, depending on size. Cats are less likely to chew seeds, but the risk exists. There's no specific antidote for ricin poisoning. Treatment is purely supportive, and the prognosis is often poor. Castor bean plants became popular because they grow fast, provide dramatic tropical-looking foliage, and are easy to grow from seed. But those seeds aren't just a little toxic. They contain a substance that's been weaponized. If you have pets, castor bean plants have zero place in your yard. Period. Okay, real talk. How many of you are frantically Googling your plants right now? If you're finding this helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button so YouTube knows to recommend this to other pet owners who need to see it. And drop a comment telling me which plant on this list surprised you the most. I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you. Also, if you've got a friend or family member with pets, share this video with them. Seriously, this is the kind of info that could save a life, and they'll thank you for it. All right, let's keep going, because we're only halfway through, and number 7 is coming up.
Number 6. Foxglove, the beautiful arrhythmia. Foxglove is a cottage garden classic. Those tall spires of tubular flowers in purple, pink, white, yellow, gardeners and pollinators love them. But Digitalis purpurea contains cardiac glycosides similar to oleander, and ingestion causes the same potentially fatal heart problems. In fact, foxglove is literally the source of the heart medication Digitalis. In controlled, tiny doses, it helps regulate certain heart conditions in humans. But in the uncontrolled doses that happen when a pet chews the leaves or flowers, it's poison. Symptoms mirror oleander: initial GI upset, vomiting, diarrhea, followed by cardiac effects, abnormal heart rhythms, irregular heartbeat, potentially fatal arrhythmias. The plant is toxic enough that even relatively small amounts can be dangerous. Dogs are more likely to ingest foxglove than cats, simply because dogs are more indiscriminate chewers, but any pet who nibbles is at risk. Documented cases: dogs who ate plants in gardens, puppies who played with fallen flowers, pets who ingested it out of boredom. Treatment requires immediate vet care, cardiac monitoring, supportive therapy. Prognosis depends on amount eaten and speed of treatment. Some recover, others don't. Foxglove became a garden staple because it's gorgeous, attracts hummingbirds and bees, fits perfectly in traditional garden designs, but beauty and danger coexist here. For pet owners, admire foxglove in public gardens. Don't grow it where your pets can reach it. Number 7. Azalea, the few leaf killer. Here it is, the plant I mentioned at the beginning, the one sitting in millions of living rooms, porches, and yards across the country. Azaleas are everywhere, spring-blooming shrubs producing masses of vibrant flowers in every color imaginable. They're foundational plants in American landscaping, especially in the South. And they're members of the rhododendron family, which means they contain granotoxins, compounds that cause severe illness and death in pets. Here's what makes azaleas particularly dangerous. It doesn't take much. A few leaves can cause severe GI symptoms: drooling, vomiting, diarrhea. But beyond that, granotoxins affect the heart and nervous system. Pets can develop abnormal heart rhythms, weakness, tremors, seizures, collapse. The toxicity is dose-dependent. A small dog who eats several azalea leaves is in serious danger. A large dog might need more. But the point is, these aren't plants pets need to consume in massive quantities to get sick. A few curious nibbles can be enough. Emergency vet records document tons of azalea poisonings, especially in spring when new growth is most appealing. Dogs chewing branches while playing, pets eating fallen flowers, animals browsing foliage out of boredom. Treatment is supportive, depends on severity. Mild cases with just vomiting might recover with basic care. Severe cases with cardiac arrhythmias need hospitalization and intensive monitoring. Prognosis is generally good if treatment is prompt, but it's still serious and potentially fatal. Azaleas became ubiquitous because they're beautiful, thrive in acidic soil, provide spectacular spring color. But they're completely inappropriate for properties where pets roam. Comment below, do you have azaleas on your property? And if so, are you rethinking that now?
Number 8. Rhododendron, the bigger azalea. Rhododendrons are essentially large azaleas. Same family, same toxins, same mechanism. But because they grow much larger, they're even more common as yard shrubs, giving pets even more opportunity to encounter them. Rhododendron species contain the same gray anotoxins. The leaves are larger and thicker, maybe slightly less appealing to chew, but pets still do it. Consequences are just as serious: severe GI signs, plus cardiac and neurologic effects. Classic case: dog playing in yard with rhododendron hedges. Dog gets bored, starts chewing lowest branches. Within hours, vomiting, drooling, showing toxicity signs. Owner rushes dog to vet. Vet asks what dog might have gotten into. Just playing in the yard. Further questions reveal the rhododendron hedge. There's your answer. What makes rhododendrons particularly problematic? They're such a standard landscaping choice. Year-round greenery, screen views, create privacy barriers. People plant them without thinking twice. Treatment and prognosis similar to azalea. Prompt vet care, supportive treatment, monitoring. Most pets recover if treated quickly, but severe cases can be fatal, and the stress and expense of emergency care is significant even when outcome is good. If you have rhododendrons and dogs or outdoor cats, you're accepting a risk with potentially catastrophic consequences.
Number 9. Autumn crocus, the multi-organ destroyer. This is the one that haunts veterinarians. The plant that can kill a large dog with just a few bites, causing multi-organ failures so severe that even aggressive treatment often fails. Autumn crocus, Colchicum autumnale, contains colchicine, a toxin affecting rapidly dividing cells throughout the body. Here's why it's uniquely dangerous. Colchicine is a mitotic inhibitor, disrupting cell division. Cells that divide most actively, bone marrow, GI tract, organs, get hit hardest. Result: catastrophic multi-organ damage. Symptoms develop in phases. Initially, within hours, severe GI upset, vomiting, bloody diarrhea. But that's just the start. Over next 24 to 72 hours, real damage emerges. Bone marrow suppression, liver damage, kidney damage, respiratory failure, cardiac problems, systemic collapse. Mortality rate is extremely high, even with intensive vet care, hospitalization, IV fluids, anti-nausea meds, supportive treatment. Many pets don't survive. Those that do often have permanent organ damage. Autumn crocus looks innocent, small purple flowers blooming in fall, often naturalized in lawns and gardens. Bulbs are most toxic, but all parts are dangerous. Dogs who dig up bulbs face highest risk, but eating flowers or leaves can cause toxicity. Documented cases describe the progression. Dog eats part of plant. Within hours, severe vomiting. Owner brings dog to vet. Initial treatment seems to help. Then condition deteriorates. Blood work shows crashing blood cell counts, failing organs. Despite aggressive treatment, dog dies within days. Autumn crocus is sometimes confused with spring crocuses, which are much less toxic. But autumn crocus is in a completely different danger category. Not just toxic, a multi-organ poison with extremely high fatality rate. If you have it and you have pets, removal is the only safe option.
Number 10. Daffodil, the bulb danger. Daffodils are cheerful spring harbingers. Those bright yellow flowers popping up after winter are beloved. But Narcissus species contain toxic alkaloids, and bulbs contain the highest concentrations. The main danger: dogs digging up and eating bulbs, especially during fall planting or spring emergence. Bulbs have a mild onion-like smell that some dogs find interesting. Ingesting daffodil bulbs causes severe GI upset: drooling, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain. Large ingestions can cause more serious effects: tremors, cardiac arrhythmias, low blood pressure, respiratory depression. Most daffodil poisonings are moderate, severe vomiting and diarrhea requiring vet care, but not typically fatal. However, large ingestions, especially of bulbs, can be life-threatening. Treatment is supportive: anti-nausea meds, fluids, monitoring. Most pets recover with appropriate care, but severe cases need hospitalization. Prevention is straightforward. If you plant daffodil bulbs, cover them well with soil and mulch. Supervise dogs in gardens during planting and spring emergence. If your dog is a determined digger, consider fencing off daffodil areas or choosing different bulbs. Daffodils became spring staples because they're reliable, multiply easily, relatively deer-resistant. They're generally safe as long as pets don't dig them up. The lesson:
It's not that you can never have daffodils if you have pets. It's that you need awareness and prevention. All right, Grovia family, we've covered 10 of the 20 most dangerous plants. And honestly, we could keep going for another hour. There are tulips, hyacinths, cyclamen, kalanchoe, dieffenbachia, pothos, philodendron, snake plants. The list is longer than most people realize. But here's what I want you to take away from this. Awareness is everything. You don't have to rip out every plant in your house or yard, but you do need to know what's dangerous and make informed choices. Before we wrap up, I need you to do 3 things. First, if you haven't already, subscribe to Grovia. We're building a community
that cares about both plants and pets, and your subscription helps us reach more people who need this info. Second, hit that like button and drop a comment. Tell me, which plant on this list shocked you the most? Or better yet, do you have any of these in your home right now? Let's talk about it in the comments. Third, share this video. Seriously, send it to your friend who just got a puppy, your sister who loves houseplants, your neighbor with the gorgeous azaleas and the golden retriever. This information could literally save a life. And here's my final thought. Loving plants and loving pets aren't mutually exclusive. You just have to be smart about it. Research before you buy, keep toxic plants out of reach, create pet-safe zones, and if you're ever unsure, the ASPCA Animal Poison Control is available 24/7 at 888-426-4435. Your pets trust you to keep them safe, and now you've got the knowledge to do exactly that. Thanks for watching, Grovia family. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, keep growing, keep learning, and keep your furry friends safe.